Hey guys, and here we are back with another one, and I hope you are all okay on that side of the screen. Now today we've got here the latest machine available from Beelink. This is their latest Windows 10 mini computer called BT7, and with no spoiler alerts on this particular video and no further delays, let's go straight for it. As always, hope that you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in a few seconds. And here we are with the Beelink BT7 mini PC that features the Intel quad-core Z8700, 4GB of DDR3 RAM, 64GB of eMMC flash storage, and 256GB on a M.2 SSD with Windows 10. And regarding our usual and quick unboxing experience, once we open the package, we'll find a quick user guide and a CD with drivers, the Beelink BT7, one VESA adapter, a power adapter, two HDMI cables, one of them short that can be very useful if you want to use the machine on the back of a monitor or a TV. And in terms of the build quality, it's all made of aluminium that makes it really robust and also gives a more premium look. And I particularly really like those cut-off edges on the top that makes the machine stand out. And now taking a closer look at the front, we will find a power LED, on the left hand side some air vents, on the right one full-sized SD card slot, two USB 3.0 ports, a power button and a few smaller vents. At the back, one non-detachable antenna, a power input jack, one USB 3.0 port, HDMI, gigabit Ethernet connection and an audio jack. At the top the Beelink logo, and finally at the bottom 4 rubber feet. Now the VESA mount, it's a nice touch and can be very useful if we want to mount the computer on the back of a display, which I did try and was a perfect fit. Now the BT7 is actually the first mini PC that I see with fans, and that means that it's going to do some noise. Now if we are on a crowded office, chances are that we will not hear it at all, but in a silent space like my office I can hear it really well, and at this moment it's the loudest component that I have. And so that you guys can have a better idea, here's a few seconds of audio recording. So regarding the setup, as usual, we will be guided by the Windows 10 setup wizard, and in no time we will be ready to use it. And as always, I did check it out and it has a full Windows 10 license activated. And in terms of storage, this particular model comes with a 64GB of eMMC flash storage as a boot drive and a 256GB on a M.2 SSD that it's optional. And moving to our usual benchmarks on the disk speed test, we got 65MB on write and 130 megabytes on reads on the boot drive. And on the M.2 SSD we got 227 megabytes on writes and 340 on reads. On the Wi-Fi connection we got 39 megabits of download speed and 20 on upload speed. And on the Ethernet connection 100 megabits of download and 20 of upload, which is basically the maximum of my connection. Geekbench 3 we had some nice scores of 1000 on a single core score and 3180 on multi-core score, and on iStorm Extreme with an overall score of 13,000. And finally, a stress test reveals that even with the fan working, after 8 minutes or so the CPU will start to thermal throttle, and with a 40-minute sample the lowest it went was about 1.1 GHz. Now this on a normal usage won't show up, but it did on this stress test, which is part of my Windows 10 mini computer's benchmarks. Okay, and benchmarks aside, I did test it out on Excel, PowerPoint and Word, and the BT7 is more than capable of achieving these tasks, or even some light editing in Photoshop, as we have seen on other similar machines, and the BT7 was no exception, handling just fine. Now we cannot go crazy, but for the everyday tasks will be more than capable. And in the gaming department, the BT7 shows that it's capable of playing any game on the Windows Play Store as expected for the mobile platform, and it did a good job with Asphalt 8 Airborne and World of Tanks, as we can see on screen. Now, regarding desktop gaming, we are limited to old and simple titles like Worms Crazy Golf and similar games. And of course, as expected, it did a great job on game streaming. I did play with Gas Guzzler, and the results were awesome. Great response with no delay at all, as we have seen with these small machines with the Intel Cherry Trail CPUs. And finally, I did test it out as a media player using Kodi, which at the moment of the recording is version 16.1, and it was able to play movies up to 4K with H.264 and H.265 codecs. Now, the samples played were Big Buck Bunny, Tears of Steel and Sintel at 8-bit, and the results were great. The movies are, as usual, all streamed across my network from my NAS. Now, the only suggestion that I would make here is if you are planning to get a device as a media player and you want to use it on a silent environment like a bedroom, I would avoid the BT7 and would go instead for a dead silent system like the BT3 for a totally silent operation. So in conclusion, guys, things that I did like the most were the design and great build quality of the Beelink BT7, the large and fast storage options, including inserting our own M.2 SSD, and finally attention to details by including a VESA mount for the computer. On the other hand, things that I did like the least, there were just one, which is the fan noise that can be annoying in silent environments. And that is it. We have reached the end of another review, this time the Beelink BT7 Windows 10 mini computer. Hope that you guys enjoyed the video, so don't forget that usual thumbs up. My name is Roberto George, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.